From the Home Slice News Center, this is the Daily Slice for Thursday, July 28th, 2022. I'm D-Ray Knight. This is what's going on. Rapid City police officers were involved in a fatal shooting of an armed man outside of a casino. Police Chief Don Hedrick says it happened shortly after 10:30 p.m. Tuesday when officers responded to reports of someone firing a gun in the casino's parking lot. Hedrick says the man fired at officers when they arrived, and officers returned fire, killing the man. No officers were hurt. The man's name has not been released. The South Dakota Division of Criminal Investigation is leading the investigation with assistance from the Pennington County Sheriff's Office. A car crashed into an Omaha street business yesterday. Amy Rose has more.
Law enforcement responded to the scene of a car that had crashed into the front of a business on Omaha Street Wednesday. The white passenger car had jumped the curb and crashed into the front entrance of Bellatan and Trend Salon in the 1300 block of Omaha Street. When crews arrived, they found an elderly woman still in the vehicle. She was transported to the hospital, and it is believed a medical issue is the cause of the crash. Police are currently investigating.
A federal appeals court has dismissed an appeal from Governor Kristi Noem in her fight to hold fireworks at Mount Rushmore to celebrate Independence Day last year. She sued in an attempt to overturn the National Park Service's denial of the state's application to allow fireworks to celebrate the 2021 holiday. The Eighth Circuit of Appeals found that South Dakota's objections to the Park Service decision were moot because it was in the past. The court also found the federal government was in its rights to deny the state from shooting off fireworks on federal land. In national and international news, the Federal Reserve has raised its benchmark interest rate by a hefty 0.75 points for the second straight time in its most aggressive drive in more than 3 decades to tame high inflation. The Fed's move will raise its key rate, which affects many consumer and business loans, to a range of 2.25% to 2.5%, its highest level since 2018. Speaking at a news conference, Chairman Jerome Powell gave mixed signals about the Fed's next moves. He stressed that the central bank remains committed to defeating chronically high inflation, while at the same time holding out hope that it may soon shift to smaller rate hikes. A surprise agreement in the U.S. Senate involving a major Democrat legislative initiative. Amy Rose has the story.
In a startling turnabout, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senator Joe Manchin have reached an expansive agreement that had eluded them for months on health care, energy, and climate issues, taxes on higher earners and corporations, and trimming the federal debt. The two Democrats say the Senate will vote on the wide-ranging measure next week, setting up President Joe Biden and Democrats for an unexpected victory they can claim in the run-up to November congressional elections, in which their control of Congress is in peril. A House vote would come afterward, perhaps later in August. Unanimous Republican opposition in both chambers seems certain.
And now the latest on the war in Ukraine. Russian forces have launched massive missile strikes on the Kyiv and Chernihiv regions, areas that have not been targeted in weeks. Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials announced an operation to liberate an occupied region in the country's south. Russian troops withdrew from the Kyiv and Chernihiv regions months ago, failing to capture either. The renewed strikes on the areas come a day after the leader of pro-Kremlin separatists in the east publicly called on Russian forces to liberate a number of Ukrainian cities, including Kyiv and Chernihiv. Also on Thursday, Ukrainian media quoted Ukraine's presidential advisor as saying that Ukraine's operation to liberate the occupied southern region of Kherson has already begun. Your weather forecast from the Home Slice Weather Center. Sunny with a high of 81 today, low tonight, 55. And that was your Daily Slice for Thursday, July 28th, 2022. The Daily Slice is a production of Home Slice Media Group, hosted by D-Ray Knight with Amy Rose. Executive producer Mark Houston. Engineered by Chris Jacquez. I'm D-Ray Knight. Have a great day.